Alright, listen up. Today I'm going to explain something. I'm going to stretch first. I'm going to show you what is my plan for the majority of my time. I was using DesignDoll for my drawings. It's a very good program. Really. It's very helpful. It is helpful until you become dependent on it. And this is exactly what happened to me. And the way I used to do it is that I first make the proportions, change them a little bit. I'm going to replicate the process I used to do. I shortened the neck a little bit, and then I just shaped the body. I'm always getting rid of the facial features. I'd rather have a flat face, and I'm using the trial version, so I cannot save my models. So that's also pretty fucking annoying. And this is how the model looks. I also changed the torso, because I just like to see the muscles. I changed the arms, not this one, but barely. Like that, I only need this curve in the forearm. This is my problem. I often do things without actually thinking about them too much. I'm getting really stuck in patterns. I don't question my actions too often when I get used to them. And after modeling the body, now I'm starting with the pose. Just play around with it until something clicks. And I'm looking at the references as well. This is how I'm used to doing it. And now this is a mess because I don't have any idea in my mind. Let's just assume. And this is my pose that I would like to use for my drawing, right? So I would just screenshot this. Oh yeah, one more thing. Before posing, I'm also using the sketch tag. And I'm drawing the lines to see the center of the body. And then I would split the face as well. So this is how I would do it normally. And then I would tilt the head like this. This is really just a quick example. Then I would screenshot this, crop it, and then do another screenshot with the skeleton. And then in Krita, in my other program, I would overlay the full body over the skeleton. The problem with this is that the work is really stiff for some fucking reason. I cannot explain how it works. It's really bizarre. But I can feel it when I look at my own art. It's really weird. My art doesn't feel fluid, organic. Because of this, I decided to ditch this program, DesignDoll. But it's really hard, and this is how I do it now. I'm going to show you the process. I already done a few of them. These ones and these ones. And also... Oh, wait a minute. I just noticed I was in the process of doing another one. Damn, she thick. Well, anyway. So, as you can see, I'm in the process of practicing. I'm not slacking off. Now I can explain how I do this. I crop the reference picture, and then I'm drawing the guides on top of this reference, like this. I'm turning down the opacity. I start with the head, then I draw the... how do I call this line? In the center of the body, like the flow. This one is just standing, so the line is very straight. There is only a slight curve. And then I cut the body in different parts. You know how it goes. 7 heads? if you cut the body in different ways, if this was 7-head ratio, the character would look older in that case. The character looks younger the less heads we use for the proportions. And this is the 5-head ratio. I do the circles for every joint. I draw the navel, and then what I do is I draw another copy of the guides, but only by looking. I'm not just copying the layer. I'm trying to eyeball it, so you can see the difference. Here, for example, the head on the left is a little bit more tilted, and my copy on the right is a little bit more frontal, but really tiny amount. And then, after I'm done drawing this, then I just disable the original reference. No, other way around. I'm disabling the guides, and I'm leaving the original reference, original drawing, and then I try to replicate this drawing on top of my own guides, and that's the finished result. Honestly, in my opinion, it looks even better. My copy, just slightly better, right? The original feels a little bit more stiff. The shoulders are a little bit more to the front, so it feels like the character is slouching just slightly. So I'm going to do the same thing right now, just to show you how it is done. What's the next reference? Oh, this is actually very interesting because the more I do it, and the more I see the mistakes in the references. So this is really not a good reference photo and reference drawing. I shouldn't really practice on this. Actually, let's use this one. This one is a bit better. And so this is not really a full frontal view. And the camera looks just slightly from above, like this, and then connect the circles. Yeah, I feel like this is accurate, more or less. And this is unnecessary. There was no reason for me to do this, really, but I just wanted to do it. And this is the important part. Like I mentioned, I start with the head. Bam. I have my microphone on my desk, where I have my drawing tablet. How should I solve this logistically? The center of the head, usually I just trace, because again, there is no reason not to trace it. The middle of the head is always the same, so it doesn't matter if I trace it or not. After I'm done with this, with the practice of the poses and the body proportions, I'm going to practice the heads exclusively and the faces. But that's for another time. Now I want to focus on the body, on proportions, so I can finally draw something from imagination, the pose, instead relying on design all the time. It's really fucking annoying. It's time to split the body. This is the top of the head. Bam. This is the chin. The shoulders actually are on the same height as the chin, just slightly lower maybe. Again, I'm not using the line tool. I could use it to make my life easier, but I don't want to make my life easier in this case. I don't want any shortcuts. There. Then this one in half. And this line tells exactly where the elbows are, more or less. Knees. And this is my another problem. I redo the same line all the time, even if it's correct. I don't know why. and the feet, like this. The flow of the body. And this is really boring pose because it's just standing, so it's really easy there. And this is the tricky part, because I think there is a method of doing poses, and it's called the bean method. I never did this before, but apparently it's like a legit method of doing poses. You just draw a bean and then you draw like the rest on top of this. But again, I never did this before. Maybe someday I'll try this out. The way I do it is that I draw a circle where the ribcage should be. Remember to flip the canvas often to check for mistakes, because if you don't, then oh boy. Okay, I do the hips the same way, like this. And now I'm going to place the shoulders. Use the first shoulder. Normally I would do this a little bit slower, but I am recording, so I'm speeding this up. There. There. The wrists are there. Like this. Kneecaps. Alright, this is the part that I struggle the most at the moment. I don't know how to connect the hips to the legs, to the thighs in this area. The way I do it now, it's like I just place the dots where the line is, but I'm really not sure if this is the correct way. It's probably not entirely correct to do it this way, but since this is practice, then I'm not afraid of mistakes. Okay, and then I connect the joints. Done. This is how it looks. This is what I'm going to use to replicate the pose. And now I'm going to do the same thing, but without the reference. I'm probably still going to use Design Doll, and just for ideas, and to give myself an idea, but I'm not going to overlay the screenshot. And this is the boring part, because I need to copy this, but I think this is actually the most important step, because I don't see the reference photo now, and the reference drawing, and this is the part where I think I'm actually learning something by doing it this way, because I need to think where I place the lines. I shouldn't erase my lines if I wanted to practice in a more hardcore way. Maybe I will do it later when I'm more confident in my skills, because right now I'm not. I already see the cheekbones are uneven, so I'm going to fix it really quickly, like this. Maybe that's better. I think so. Yeah, don't abuse your microphone, man. The rib cage. This is where it ends, more or less. The center of the body, where the hips are. Fuck! Let me just... oh, there. Doing straight lines with the tablet I have is really difficult, because I have the... I don't have the screen. I have that really cheap tablet where I have to look at the monitor. It's not easy. The flow line. I'm not even sure if that's how it's called. I'm calling it that way. Yeah, because you could place it like this. Like this. I'm not sure how this would work, but maybe something like this. I'm exploring right now. And then you would place the shoulder there, another shoulder in the back. Maybe. That's why it's important. Because it dictates the whole pose. And the rib cage. More or less the same width as the head. Now it's the good time to place the joints. The shoulder will be here, another shoulder will be here. A little bit further away, like this. Elbows will be there, wrists will be there. And this is the good thing about this, because I could place the wrists in another position, like here for example, and it would work as well. I'm planning on doing the hands first, when I'll begin another drawing on my own. Not like practicing, but actually drawing like new artwork. So I'm planning on drawing the hands first, and then the forearm, and the arm, and the shoulder. It should work, unless I'm going to draw the hand like here. Then I should use foreshortening to make it work. It could work, I can see it, but the foreshortening would be insane. I hope you know what I'm talking about. The hand would be like this, you know? So it looks like the character is reaching for something towards the camera. It can work. Now the knees. Bam. Okay. It doesn't need to be perfect. Now that I successfully copied the guides, I can delete those guides and turn on the original reference. And now I'm going to turn down the opacity of my guides, and I'm going to copy the reference onto my guides and see if it works and where are the mistakes. But again, that's assuming the original reference is correct. It looks correctly, but I'm not an expert, so I cannot say for sure. I should work on real life photos, and I feel like that's a little bit too hard for me at the moment, so that's why I'm doing it this way on those references. Maybe I'll switch to real life humans at some point. I will for sure, but I need to be more confident first. But I already feel better about doing it in this way. This will definitely help me. This is one of those things I cannot really explain why it works, but I have a feeling it works. It will be interesting to see if it actually helps or not. I hope so, because if it doesn't, then I just wasted 2 weeks of my life, and I cannot afford to waste my time. Faces will be an absolute nightmare. I cannot fucking handle faces. Something about them is making me really confused. The funny part is that I can copy, I can trace the face, and it still looks bad. This is what fucks me up. Oh hey, we'll get there. So since the camera looks a little bit from above, you can see a little bit of the back first. Now I can draw the neck like this. I wonder how the end effect will look like. And this is where the ribcage starts. Stay reasonable, Kinyo, stay reasonable. With this specific part, you go way overboard all the time. cold down. That's what it feels like to have a Coomer brain. See? I cannot help myself. I didn't even think about this. I already made the breast bigger. Fuck, just roll with it. Oh yeah, the hands. Hands are a separate topic. Again, those hands are not really perfect either. That's not the point of this practice. Really. I don't know why. It's just like my thing, but I really like this part of the body. This specific part. I don't know why. Like the connection between the hips and the tummy. This. It's really fun. Triggers positive hormones in my brain. Like this. Whoop. And then the hips. Nice. See, this is what I mean. I don't even look at the reference sometimes, and that's what this practice does, because you redraw those drawings all the time, and at some point it becomes a second nature. I can already feel this, even though I'm not perfect by any means, by any stretch of the word, but I feel like if I'll keep doing this for a month or two, I will get better at this. I just wish it happened faster. Maybe that's just not how it works. You cannot rush progress, to be fair. I'll probably practice every part of the body separately, because now I only draw the overall structure of the body, but there are a lot of parts. For example, in the thigh itself, has how many muscles, how many groups of muscles. I know for sure there is the one in the on the inside. I cannot tell where it is, how this line should go, because I don't know the anatomy. It will come later. I'm not drawing the fingers for the feet for now. I just do it this way. And the overall shape, and then I pretend there is like a sock. I should probably draw the Zettai Ryoki, so it makes more sense. Her left leg is a little bit too thick. I know, heresy, right? There is no such thing as too thick, but we need to stay reasonable for practice. When I begin drawing for more seriously, and it's not going to be a practice, then oh, what the fuck? I'm dying, help. Then I'm going to go overboard with the hips, because why the fuck not? Bam. Easy. I also think I'm getting faster with this. I guess it becomes more natural to draw faster when you repeat the same shit all the time. There. The hand looks like shit. Doesn't matter. There. Now it looks better. And also, instead doing the socks like this, I should do them like this. It's a really small change, but it makes much more sense to do them like this. Oh, and I see another mistake. And her shoulder is fucked. It should be like this. And another shoulder. Those are tiny mistakes, but they matter. All of it matters when it comes to bodies. Because if those mistakes stack on top of each other, then the entire drawing looks like a fucking mess. Anyway, this is it. This is what I wanted to show you. This is exactly what I do. Where it will lead me, I'm not really sure. Time will tell. I already feel I'm getting better at this. My only goal is to be free from design though, finally. I cannot be dependent on this program, I cannot be a slave to it. Will it work? Who knows? See you later. Kinyo out.